Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The feature race at the Sacramento County Fair in Northern California is race number 8. It's the $50,000 California Governor's Cup Handicap. And remember, on Saturday, there's no Saratoga. There's no racing on the East Coast except for Monmouth. A lot of tracks canceling in the Mid-Atlantic region. Take a look at this card at Sacramento on Saturday. It's not bad at all, and you can play it with a DRF Bets account, and you get $150 in risk-free wagers on sign-up. Let's meet the field for the California Governor's Cup Handicap, and we've got a two-time defending champion in this race in the number 4 Alaford Bay. And just look at this mare's record on dirt. 7 for 8 lifetime. She's lost her last 2 races. They haven't been on dirt. Turf, synthetic. Her race 3 back in the Zia Distaff I thought was very good.
Yeah, and really, for me, it may sound like a very simplistic way of approaching this race, but you have a number of horses that their form on dirt, they can't stand up on it compared to some of these other surfaces. And on the flip side, you have a horse like Alaford Bay, who you take a look at her overall body of work. She's 1 for 5 on synthetic. She's 0 for 2 on turf, and she's 7 for 8 on dirt. Clearly, she's a dirt horse, and she's been forced to run on some other surfaces. And I can say the opposite for some of the other runners. It, to me, makes this race relatively straightforward. I think Alaford Bay is going to be way too much to handle.
And even in the last 2 losses, they weren't bad at all. At Golden Gate in that allowance race, she must have been 4 wide, pressing the pace wide all the way around the turn and punching on to be beaten less than a length. And last time out on turf in against SY Sky and I'm a Happy Cat, 2 very sharp horses. Timeform US also believes that she'll have an advantageous pace scenario. There's the 4 Alaford Bay on top in a blue bar scenario, which means that it could favor horses on or near the early lead. Trainer Blaine Wright, though, has his back covered because the number 7 Strip It Down is a strong contender in this race as well. She has won her last 2 starts. She won on dirt at Pleasanton last time out and has a really nice outside attack post position.
Yeah, and I like that she has a little bit of tactical ability where she's not going to be forced to come from way out of it. Whether you believe that she's as good as Alaford Bay or not, I don't happen to think she is, but I like that she can stay relatively close to a hot pace. If for some reason it presented itself, you see Timeform thinks it'll be a blue bar. I think Strip It Down, if you're not intrigued with the heavy favorite, I think the other right horse, this one right here, I think she makes plenty of sense.
Formulator fact for Strip It Down, a good one. Past year, horses aged 3-year-olds and up, last out winners in non-graded stakes dirt sprints. 8 for 12, 11 of 12 on the board, and a 263 ROI. He's trying to strike while the iron is hot with Strip It Down. Wish You Were Mine is the number 6, and Wish You Were Mine coming off a gate-to-wire open lengths win at Pleasanton. That's good news. It's a win on dirt, and she showed speed, but now she's got to cut back into a sprint. She's only sprinted 3 times in her career. It was the first 3 races of her career. The results weren't good. Maybe she's a different horse now.
I suppose it's possible, but the other thing to keep in mind about those first 3 starts sprinting on dirt, look how far back she was in all of those races. And it's just sort of that natural inclination, that natural move, a turn back from 8.5, where, yes, you're out there on the front end, but Timeform US had all those fractions color-coded blue. And take a look at the fractions themselves, 25 and 4, 50 and 4 for a half mile. She's going to be coming from 100 out of it. I just have a hard time imagining her getting remotely close.
Trainer Sergio Ledesma has the 2 horses occupying the 2 inside post positions. The one is Vronilla Parfait, who has won on dirt in the past. That was her most recent start on dirt way back last summer at Sacramento. So it's nice to know she handles the track. And she's coming into this race in good form off a couple of runner-up efforts, although she seems like recently she's been a bit of a nibbler.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way that I approached her. I think she's best used underneath if you're going to use her. You're right. She's run well enough on dirt, so I don't think that's a major question mark. The question mark for me is she quite good enough at this point in her career to run with the likes of Alaford Bay?
I wouldn't sleep on the 2 Shasta Star, who just went gate to wire, got an easy setup at Golden Gate on the Tapeta that day, but earned a solid buyer speed figure for Ledesma, and she hasn't run a bad one on dirt. She has 3 races on the surface. She's a head away from being undefeated, and she won her last start going 5 on dirt at Fresno. I think Shasta Star's got tactical speed, can lead, can rate. I would send her.
Yeah, I mean, she's another one. I picked her 3rd in here, like for the reasons you laid out. She can run on dirt. She's not one of those no-hopers. She's 3 for 3 in the exacta on the dirt surface. The highest last out buyer in the field. She beat a decent enough field poster girl, the third place finisher. She came back and earned an 87, albeit on turf in her next start. So you know the quality is there for the field that she ran against most recently. The question is, I'm going to be very curious to see how she is ridden. Like you say, if she is sent from the inside, I think that probably amplifies her chances. The concern I would have at that point is that feels like it's an all or nothing move. I could see her potentially being compromised if a horse like Alfred Bay is hounding her throughout.
The number 5 is Royal Descendant, who was good enough to win a dirt race at Del Mar last summer, then ran in the Grade 3 Torrey Pines, then caught a non-winners of one other, then off a long layoff. I think had excuses in both of those races. The plethora of layoff lines are concerning to me, and the lack of speed is also an issue. I think she has some talent. I think she'll be putting in a late run. I wonder if it will be too little, too late, however.
The pace scenario is the thing that really turned me off for her. I picked her fourth. I think she will come with a little bit of a late bid. The problem is if there is no speed in front of her to run at, she's just going to be terribly compromised, in my opinion. The dirt isn't an issue for her. The pace is an issue.
Gotham Desire is a maiden on dirt, third to strip it down last time out. Second off the layoff has been a good angle for Gotham Desire in her career, but I think she might be slightly more effective on the other surfaces.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it another step. I think she's considerably better. She's actually quite a nice turf horse, I think. She's done some really nice things. But for me, it really is as simple as 2 for 3 on synth, 2 for 4 on turf, 0 for 4 on dirt. I don't want any part of her.
Here's the top pick for the California Governor's Cup. A three-peat, we believe it's going to be, for the talented number 4, Alfred Bay, who should be in prime contention when they turn into the stretch. I would probably just even consider singling her in multiple race wagers. She's been that good on the dirt. Give me numbers.
Yeah, for me, it's a Blaine Wright exacta. I went 4, 7, 2, 5 in here, but I'm with you. If I was playing any sort of multis, she's a stone cold A.
So we think Alfred Bay is the right call. The Blaine Wright call in the California Governor's Cup Handicap at Sacramento on Saturday. Consider the card with your DRF Bets account. $150 in risk-free wagers waiting upon sign-up. Approximate post time 5:50 Pacific. Best of luck.